10 Sports Central beginning every college football game preview and prediction on a big matchup coming up in the SEC in Week 15. This is going to be between the Georgia Bulldogs and the Missouri Tigers, two teams of which were having pretty good seasons, especially Missouri right now, who's 5-3 and on a 3-game winning streak. It looks like they're going to be on their way to possibly a pretty good bowl game. Meanwhile, for Georgia, they're 6-2 and a top 10 team in the nation, so they're still in contention for even a New Year's Six bowl. So there's a lot at the line for both of these teams in this matchup. We're going to be going over a full game preview and prediction on this one here today, starting out with your team trends. And of course, Georgia beat South Carolina previously, 45-16 being the final score there. So that was a good win out of Georgia in that matchup. And then we also saw Missouri beat Arkansas 50-48 being the final score there. So yeah, both teams got wins over the last couple of weeks. Of course, Georgia that win over South Carolina back on November 28th. So they did not play last week, but they did play the week before that. Winning streaks for both these teams. Georgia is the 8th ranked team in the nation according to the AP poll right now. They're 6-2 with a 2-game winning streak. Meanwhile, for Missouri, they're 5-3 with a 3-game winning streak. So really, both teams here have got some good momentum heading into this matchup. If you look at Missouri right now, they're 5-3 and they've got a good winning streak going. This is a team definitely not to sleep on moving forward. Missouri is not really a real SEC contender this season, but there's still a good chance that we see Missouri make it to possibly the Outback or the Citrus Bowl, which would be a really good turnout for the season for Missouri if they're able to do that. But moving on, this is going to be on Saturday, December 12th, 11 a.m. Central Time in Columbia, Missouri. Spread currently says Georgia by 11. ESPN FPI's got Georgia 83%, and the Vegas prediction is also going with Georgia here, 36-24. So Georgia's favored in all three areas, sir. Not much of a surprise, obviously, considering Georgia has been ranked the better team and all around. Georgia's been playing better as a whole this entire season in comparison to Missouri. Here's your second person for this game. Georgia's got 31 points per game, 20 points allowed. They got 224 pass yards a game, 172 rush yards. Then for yards allowed, they got 262 passing and then 75 rushing. As for Missouri, they got 27 points per game and points allowed, so they're pretty even there. And they got 281 pass yards a game, 153 rush yards. Then for yards allowed, they got 233 passing and 143 rushing. So really both teams are doing pretty good in the statistics category. Both teams are more passing teams, that's for sure. For Georgia, this Georgia team is definitely looking very good right now, considering JT Daniels has been playing the last couple of weeks, and he's been having a great turnout so far for Georgia. He's been playing extremely well, and Stetson Bennett played okay when he was a starting quarterback, but JT Daniels, ever since he was put into the game, he's been playing very well for Georgia, and I expect him to be the primary quarterback moving forward. Meanwhile, for Missouri, they've got, of course, a quarterback who's put up over 2,000 yards on the season, so he's had a pretty good season as well. But all around for both teams here, the big difference here is going to be on the defensive side. Both offenses are pretty good. It's just a matter of how good the defenses can do. For Georgia, if you look at them right now, they've got a great rushing defense, only allowing 75 points per game or 75 yards per game, but they allow over 250 pass yards per game, which is a little bit of a concern heading into this matchup. You can't be allowing like 260 pass yards to Missouri and expect to win. So that's kind of the problem there for Georgia. But moving on to your key points, Georgia's still in contention for a New Year's Six bowl game. There's no doubt about that. They could easily make it to the Peach Bowl, which is definitely in contention for them right now if they can just win out. And they're definitely not going to make it to the SEC championship game, or at least there's not a very good chance of that. But Georgia still's got a good chance, I think, if they can just win out here to possibly end up in the Peach Bowl, which would be a great turnout for Georgia, I would say, at this point in the season. For Missouri, they also have a bowl game on the line as well. If you think about it, Missouri can make it to the Citrus or the Outback Bowl, which both those games are pretty good bowl games. So for Missouri to make it to one of those would be a pretty good end to the season for them. Impacts of this game, though, once again, the bowl game on the line is really the main factor in this matchup. But also, for both teams, if you think about it for Missouri here, if they can win this matchup, that gives them a 4-game winning streak and a 6-3 record heading into the later parts of the season. That is definitely a place that Missouri wants to be in, and that also would probably put them in rankings. Meanwhile, for Georgia, if they can get a win here, that puts them at 7-2, and that puts them on a pretty good winning streak as well. So they're going to have a lot of good momentum heading into the late parts of the season, which, that's definitely going to be huge for both these teams. The momentum heading into the postseason is always huge. So, whichever team wins this game, I think is going to have a really good finish to the season, which in the end, I've got Georgia winning this game. Final score is going to be 34-27. We're going to see the Bulldogs get the win here. It's going to be very close. I think Missouri hangs on all the way towards the finish. But I think Georgia is all around just a better team. I really trust JT Daniels right now. He's playing very well for Georgia. And all around Georgia, I just think that they're, once again, the better team. They've been playing better all around this season. And even though Missouri's got a lot of momentum right now, I mean, Georgia does too. So Georgia, that's why I got them getting the win here in the end by a touchdown. It's going to be close. I think Missouri's going to keep this game really close with Georgia, which is going to be good for Missouri, but I just don't think that they pull off the win in the end. Halftime score is going to be 24-14 Georgia, so we will see a bit of a significant lead for Georgia at half, but I think in the end, once again, Georgia's the better team. They get the win 34-27. But let me know your thoughts and comments below on this matchup. Let me know your score predictions, all of that down in the comments. And once again, I really appreciate you guys all sticking around. If you enjoyed this preview, slap a like on it, subscribe as well, as it really helps with the channel. I'd really appreciate that. But once again, thanks again for watching. Stay tuned for more from All Sports Central. I'll see you all later.